Hello and welcome back to my beginner Roblox scripting series. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you all about Roblox variables. Let's just get right into it. So to get started, we are going to need a script. So go over into your workspace. I'm just going to add a part. So just click this little plus icon, go to part. Now that we have a part, we're going to go to this plus icon and we're just going to click on script. Now you might need to search through this or you can just type it in like so. We just click on that. Now I have a script. It says print hello world. We used that in the last video, but in this video, we are not going to be using that. So we're just going to highlight all of that and press backspace. So what is a variable? Well, a variable is something that we use to store information in programs. So like if you want to store a number to use later in a program, you would use a variable. So they're very important. Let me show you what a variable looks like. I'm just going to type in local my number equals 25. So this has mainly four components. It has local, it has the my number, an equal sign, and 25. So what does local mean? Well, that means that it is local to this scope, and I will explain scope in a later video, but just know that you need it for all variables. So just always type it. It's good practice. Now, my number, that is the name that we give to this variable. That is what we're going to use later in the program to reference this value. This equal sign means that we are assigning a value, so it means that my number is going to be set to something. Think of it like putting something in a box. You know, when you're organizing, you're putting 25 into the my number box, and that 25 is the value. Now in Lua, a variable could equal any kind of value, and I will just explain the values. You have numbers, you have strings, you have booleans, which if you don't know, they are true or false. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Decimal numbers like 3.1, 2.2, all those types of things. A variable can equal all of that. So let's just show how to use these variables. Well, I'm just going to print out because that is what we learned in the last video and it's just really easy. So let's just go print my number. And let's just go to the play functionality right here. And you'll see that in the output, let me just zoom in for you guys. You see that in the output, we get 25. Pretty simple. We're just printing that. And what we're doing is we're saying print. And then in these parentheses, we are giving it what we want to print. And because this name matches, we are telling this program to access this variable, which contains 25. So that's basically how to reference variables. You just type the name exactly the same. It has to be the same capitals, same everything. So what about manipulating variables? There are multiple different ways. We can first say, so we define it, we declare it, and declaring is just the term for when you first create a variable and assign it a value. That is declaring a variable. So we can declare it and set a value. So let's say this value starts in at 25, but then later in the code, I decide to change it. So what we would type is we say the variable name, and then an equal sign, and then we just type in the new value that we want it to equal. And now, when we go below, we will see print my number. And you'll see that in here, we get 10, which is the value that we changed it to, which is pretty cool. Now, what if we want to add a specific amount to this thing? We don't want to just set it to value. We want to take the original value and we want to add to it. Well, you can do my number equals, and then type in the variable name, and then plus, I don't know, let's do 5. So doing some basic math, we should get my number. We are setting it to the 25 plus 5. So we should get 30. If we go into the play right here, you'll see that in the console, we get 30. Now for subtraction, it would be the same way. You just put in a minus sign. There you go, you get 20. 25 minus 5 is 20. So that checks out. Multiplication, if you don't know, the sign for multiplication is a asterisk, which is that little star symbol. On American keyboards, it's Shift plus 8. So we're just going to type that in there. 25 times 5 is 125, and you'll see that in the console over here. We get 125. Beautiful, beautiful. And last but not least, divided by 5. My number divided by 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. And that all checks out with basic math. So that's pretty cool. That is how we manipulate variables. Now there are shorthand writings because you know this is repetitive. My number equals my number. You're over referencing. You're typing out more than you need. There's some shortcuts. You can do my number plus equals 5, and you'll see that this is the exact same as the my number equals my number plus 5. That's pretty cool because it is way less writing. You don't need to type out the variable name. And you can do it for subtraction too. Minus equals 5. So we should get 20. And if you see in the output, we do. And that works for the multiplication and the division as well. So just add in the operation sign equals 5. So that's pretty simple. Now, we can also do adding and combining different variables. So I'm just going to say my number, but better. I'm going to set this to 5. So I want to add these two things. Well, all we would do is just say my number plus my number is better, or my number but better, and 25 plus 5 is 30. And you see that we get that. Now that's all of the number stuff. We can also do some strings. So my string equals subscribe. And if we print this out, we will just get the string of subscribe. Now there are many more functionalities to variables, but they are more in-depth and include other aspects that I have not touched in this series. So that is going to be it for this video. The next video we'll be talking about functions, and we'll also be talking more about the use of variables there. But that is it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.